the next big initiative is I want you to promote your businesses specifically. As a matter of fact, I want you to create a brochure that is the very best of Shawano country. And I'm going to show you Alpena, Michigan's. Alpena, Michigan did this. I always say, promote your best restaurants, your best retail shops, and your best activities, no lodging. Because the number one asked question of visitors in the world is, where's a good place to eat? And please don't hand me a list. And hotels, wouldn't it be cool if they say, well, you know what, here's the very best of Shawano country, and you know what, in it, it's got our top restaurants, our top eatery, our top retail shops. Wouldn't it be great if they could do that? And most hotels won't hand it out if their competitors are in it. So in this case, and I'm even going to give you criteria, and by the way, we picked them for you, okay? We might not have gotten them all. Look, they put best restaurants, retail, and attractions. They even used a quote from me, fine. And so what they did is each one of these was invited to be in here, and I'm going to give you the criteria. They each paid $400 for their page. So this is a public-private partnership. Now, a bike path, Heritage Trail, has no money. I mean, it's a trail system. Their $400 from the businesses was enough to compensate that. Marketplace in Alpena. I mean, what they did is they did this brochure. And Stony Acres Winery. I mean, it went through this. And by the way, here it is. Here's a copy of this brochure. Art in the Loft. Besser Museum. By the way, the Besser Museum was really, really struggling. And so this is one thing, by the way. This is tough for a chamber to do because we're putting the best in here in Shawano County where their members are not. And that makes it really tough on a chamber who makes its money by being memberships. So in their case, they only paid $200. There was enough money from everybody to help pay for it. So this is what they did. Now, with this brochure, they did a cool thing. And they also did this in Ottawa, Illinois. What they did is they printed these up. They printed like 20,000. There are 10,000 people that live in Alpena. And that means there's about 3,000 households. They snail mailed one of these to every single household in the town, and then they did another mail to the county. And with it in the envelope, they put a little card, and the card said this, and I'm paraphrasing. The number one reason people travel is to visit friends and family. We hope you will hang on to this brochure so that when they visit you, you will share with them the very best of what Alpena has to offer. Because we believe that every dining room table should be a concierge desk. Within days, people started coming downtown, even without friends and family. They'd walk into one of these shops and say, oh my gosh, you got this mail, how long have you been here? And the merchant would go, 10 years? It was the best thing they ever did. It's the best thing you could ever do here in this county or in these two counties. Now, here's the criteria they used. Number one, they had to have good curb appeal. They needed to be open year-round in Alpena. They had to be open until at least 7 o'clock p.m. For you, that means there'd be nobody in the brochure except for a few restaurants. I'm going to get to that. They had to be open 6 days a week. The day they could be closed on Mondays. They had to be unique to you, so we're not putting McDonald's and Dairy Queen and whatever else chains in there. No offense to them, Subway, all those. Has to be unique. And they had to be highly regarded by somebody other than themselves. 80% positive reviews on TripAdvisor, yeah, written up in magazines. And you cannot let politics kill this. And so you know what? We're going to help you. We may miss a few because we didn't get a chance to eat at every restaurant and go into every shop, but we're going to start you off. Number one, Rachel's Roadside Drink Shack. It was great. And by the way, she has people driving from Green Bay and Wausau just for the cheese curds. And so, which by the way, they were awesome. I didn't realize how good they are if you dip them in ranch. Some people say that's cheating. But But it was really good. And it's a nice little ambience there, absolutely. But I would certainly have her put up a better sign there. But the rest of it, look, just really bends over backwards to make that look great. And it's just a nice atmosphere. Gotta have them. Newski's needs to be in there. I mean, obviously, it's one of your, what I would call your really premier anchor tenants. And even going there just for that is so cool. I don't know when that's open. It was closed when we were there, but I just think that's really cool. It's just a neat place. Even the antique stores, part antiques and part museum, is really cool, really well done. And of course, the place is packed. And a lot of people are coming from different states and everywhere, and they're in Newski's. And you know what? I loved it when we walked in the door of that museum. I love this quote. If the love of what you're doing exceeds the labor of doing it, success is inevitable. And that's exactly why we do this for you. Exactly. I saw that and I went, yes! Fantastic quote. The walls of Wittenberg absolutely are fantastic. Now, I usually caution people on murals because once we've been there and done them, been there, done that. But these murals are so well done, we probably spent more time in Wittenberg than any other of the communities other than Shawano. And I'm not showing you all of them, I'm just showing you a few of them. But even the post office, I mean, when's the last time you ever saw a Fed agency do something creative? Especially these days. Okay, but I just thought these are all shaped like stamps. I thought it was just really, really cool. This is called trompe l'oeil. Trompe l'oeil is French for fool the eye. I could have sworn this was stone. It's not. Trompe l'oeil is a cool thing. And so I thought it's just great for that bakery. I mean, it just really had a lot. I mean, the hardware store, every mural is customized to the tenant or the owner. I thought it was just fantastic. Now, in front of this one, it says, the walls of Wittenberg is to bring the beauty and unique character of the Wittenberg area in a way that revitalizes the downtown, honors the history, and attracts visitors. And I think it's great. What you got to do is, if they pull in and look at these murals, you also have to say, while you're here, stop here, stop here. Do your best ofs. We didn't get a chance. It never worked out for a meal in Wittenberg, but these murals are just exceptional. The Wow Space Gallery is fantastic. The problem is, I don't know when or if it's ever open. I mean, it's more of an event space. It's like, no, we just drove 40 miles. And it's not open. And we don't know when it is open. Even this is just phenomenal. I just, and so you go, I want to promote it, but how can you promote an anchor tenant like the Wow Space when you don't know if it's ever open? I mean, look at this stuff. Fantastic. Just this little, I call it I don't know if it's the Wow Space Art Park or whatever you want to call it. It's just so well done that, there you go, Vincent van Frog. And he's actually painting here. I just thought, really cool. Really a neat little town. So what you got to do is say, you know what? We're going to promote the walls of Wittenberg to get people here. And then what we need to do is say, while we're here, we need to get them into Bubba's Cafe, or we need to get them wherever it is. And we didn't get a chance to test everything in Wittenberg. But you need to be able to say, while you're here, do this. Otherwise, you're not monetizing it. They do a pretty good job with the curb appeal and everything. And by the way, we're there in the middle of the day, closed. So part of our problem is the hours and the days you're open in this county is probably, hate to say this, one of the biggest nightmares we have ever seen. Some museums are open every fourth Sunday. Some are open every Thursday. Some are open, 2 hours a month. Some shops close at 7. Some close. Just everywhere we went, we never knew what or if anything was going to be open. But the walls of Wittenberg, absolutely on your best of. Same with Big Smoky Falls. And I would do the river rafting too. They got really good reviews on TripAdvisor and Yelp. But going to Smoky Falls and walking these boardwalks, who cares about rafting? It is a stunning sight to see. Just really great. They do have this there, and by the lady that was running said, well, I got to run they're taking this group of kids. She goes, I'll be back in a bit. I don't know if they sell, I don't know what they sell other than river rafting. And I was like, these businesses are not monetizing this. Bring a food truck there, something to monetize the tourism. We did go to Big Eddie's, absolutely should be, or Shotgun Eddie's. We did get to, they should be in the best of too. They do a really good job there. It's kind of funky down in there, and you never know what to expect. But I thought they do a really good job. Mom says, wear your life jacket. No cans, no bottles. But they do a good job educating people. And by the way, it's a beautiful area. Absolutely should be in your best of. Then, of course, the Rustic Shed in Bonduelle, fantastic store. Now, in Bonduelle's marketing, it talks all about Amish shops. We never found any Amish shops anywhere other than Lark Country Store. If there are some, we don't know where they're at. And so, but this shop all by itself is worth going to Bonduelle for. Matter of fact, you have some of the best country living home accents and furniture stores anywhere. Anywhere. And this is one of them. I mean, just really, really an outstanding shop. You need to promote these shops specifically because it tells us that let's go out of our way to Bonduelle if we're on the lake, because they got a couple of really, really great shops, including this one, which is just 150 feet away or whatever, across the street. Fantastic. Absolutely need to promote them. Just a great job. Bought fudge in this one, too. That's what I mean. We're still wearing it. So, Lark Country Store, absolutely. I love it. Look at this. Consistent hours, everything. Did a great job. And of course, we love the Amish. And by the way, when you promote the Amish, we've worked with a lot of Amish communities. It's very important in your visitor guides on your website that Amish prefer not to be photographed. Like I took a picture of the buggy, I took it from behind, and there's certain things that are rules of etiquette for the Amish. And the same with Mennonites, same with Native Americans. I mean, we all have our own things, but I think that's important to do. But they did a great job. And by the way, this store is worth going just for this wall of candy, which we're wearing that also. They got everything you could imagine is in there. It's great. And I love the fact, and these are things you can educate people, because the Amish might not be on the power grid, but like they have put solar panels on the house, and the solar panels are enough to run a cash register and take credit cards. So it's cool that you do this. I think it's good to educate people, because then we are endeared to it even more and acceptable. Docks has to be on your list. There are people coming from different states to go to docks out here. It's crazy. This is everything from the peace sign in the old Volkswagens. This is the weed wagon. I can't imagine what that's about. This state is one of the few that hasn't legalized marijuana yet. No, I'm just kidding. I think there's 5 now. But anyway, it's got, the museum is great. It's got the old, you've probably all been out there. You've got the Harleys. It's got like you sit 10 at it. They show it in parades. A great collection of stuff. Some of the stuff I was going, we got an old ship out here. I don't know what. Maybe that's for the future. We saw some trailers. It's just kind of eclectic, but we're all, I don't know of any other Harley shops in the country where you can go ride a camel or at least go see one in the backyard. So they got the camel there. They got, I don't know if that's a kangaroo or a wallaby. They got wild buffalo. I thought that was pretty cool with a calf. I thought that was really neat. But you know what happened this last weekend? Doc's girlfriend stole the show because she had these little golden doodles for sale. And I was like, oh my gosh, let's go get a puppy. And Jane's going, no. Really cute. Anyway, it's got to be on your must list. The other thing I would put on your must-see list is I'll bet the fall color going up 55 is phenomenal, is it? Fantastic. You need to promote those. That's shoulder season stuff. So, obviously we're here the wrong time of year, but we just driving up there along the Wolf River, we're just going, oh my gosh, you need to promote that. I think the barn quilts you absolutely need to promote. Absolutely. However, What I would suggest is that you create a West County, a Central, and an East County, because what you do is you have a map that just has like 100 barn quilts on it, and you're just kind of left on your own. I think it'd be good to say, okay, here's what you do. You go down this road, this road. I mean, there are bus tours that do it. Whatever route they're going on, you should tell your visitors to make it easy. But they're phenomenal seeing those. And by the way, I think it's important for you to educate people that are not familiar that these are not actual quilts. Because some people say, I'm so disappointed, they cheated out. They used, they say, well, they're paintings of quilt design. You just need to educate people because they are phenomenal. And one thing I love about this county is the barns that have all the stone at the lower. Very cool. And then even your Amish country. So finally somebody, we had to come back into Shawano and ask people where to find the Amish. And they said, well, if you go out there down, I think it's T, and then go on, is it Porter Road? Go down Porter Road, and what happened is, the first day, we just looked for the horse droppings on the road. But then it rained. And so we did finally, when you go down these roads, it's phenomenal. And by the way, I think it's fantastic, Farm Fresh Eggs. We passed one place, I didn't take a picture of it, where the guy makes the buggies and repairs them. I would have loved more than anything to drive up that driveway and see what it takes to build these, to repair them and talk to them. The Amish are wonderful people to talk to. And so I think you need to do a little Amish tour. Here's the roads you can go down and say, here's some etiquette. When we worked in Western New York, which is one of the biggest Amish communities in the country, it was so cool. But even here I noticed it. When you drove by, they wave at you. I don't see locals doing that. The Amish do it. They wave. I think it's the coolest thing ever. You got to promote Old Glory candy. So, we had to go to Green Bay, I'm sorry to say it, because my portable printer crapped out and I couldn't get one here. So I drove to Green Bay, we went to Office Depot, walked in, got my new little printer. Girl behind us, I said, so, you're from Green Bay? She goes, oh yeah. I said, do you ever go out to Shawano, that area? She goes, well, yeah. And she was kind of like, didn't want to say it. I go, why do you go out there? She goes, I go from here to Old Glory just to buy the fudge. And she goes, but I also love the flea markets out there. I love the events they have out there. People are coming here for your events. So, absolutely wonderful shop. We're also wearing stuff from that shop. Classics, absolutely. Great restaurant. Probably, it's one of the top 2 restaurants we ate at. Classics and Torchlight. Okay? Angie's, you got to do it because it's such a fun 1950s diner atmosphere. Just loved it there. I just think it's really cool. They put up signs that say, by the way, it's going to take a while for your food because good food takes a while to cook. We did see that people complain because it took a long time. But they make it, they do a good job. And so I thought it was great. But anyway, Angie's we thought was really good. This is how you do it. This here is the best retail store in the county, in our opinion. First of all, I love that. Drink tea because you need it, drink wine because you deserve it. We got both. Just well done, easy to read, good curb appeal, excellent window displays. And by the way, this shop is incredible. You can't find, this is worthy of downtown Milwaukee, Chicago. And it's in Shawano. And so just fantastic. So what happened is, we went in there, and if you buy 5 bottles of oil, yeah, olive, no, it wasn't olive oil, it's balsamic vinegar. If you buy 4, you get 1 free. So you know what? They're shipping us 4, and we're going to take 1 back with us. And my wife said an interesting thing. She goes, from now on, we need balsamic vinegar. They will ship it to us. We're going to order it from Shawano, Wisconsin, and have it shipped to our place in Phoenix. When you create lasting customers, so the shop owner, she wasn't there, her husband was there. He also has another job. He was there, he does this kind of part-time. But they do such a good job. You can taste all these oils, or all the balsamic vinegars. They're about ready to start doing wine pairings in there. What they do is they do such a good job of immersing you in their experience that you're hooked. And I went, wow, we walked out of that shop with new friends. How often does that happen? And man, when you can start getting clients from Green Bay and everybody calling you and say, we want you to ship some of this, if it's too far to drive, that's cool. So, the other one is tumbleweed. Now, this wasn't for me, but my wife spent a fair amount of money in there too. Fantastic shop. And she goes, and I stayed outside to take photos and everything, and she goes, that place was packed. You know what? Your downtown here is coming along. You got some great shops. They do a good job. I'd like to see a few a little bit more beefed up out there. No blade sign. And by the way, you see tumbleweed, you have no clue what it is. So in the afternoon when the sun's shining across the street, it is really hard to see in through their windows. In the morning, the sun shines right through, you see it's women's clothing. But I would just add that one thing, women's boutique, tumbleweed, women's boutique, something. We did go into the Spirit of the North Winds. It absolutely was fantastic. Some of these, like this one, really has very little in the way of curb appeal, but it's a fantastic store. And so once you come in, I mean, it's just great. I mean, and it's cool. It's organized by area. So if you want equestrian, it's here. If you like ducks, it's here. If you like fish, home accents and designs, Native American, you name it, it's there. Fantastic store. Now, the one store we almost never even went in was the pharmacy. Zero curb appeal. Not real good signage. It's just prescriptions, Dryer Pharmacy. Is it Dryer? Yeah. Okay. Dryer Pharmacy. I mean, somewhere it says gift shop, but if you know what? If I was them, I would put gift shop, home accents, and pharmacy last. Because there's nothing to pull you in this place. The only reason we went in is because we were secret shopping you. But when we went in, it was an OMG moment. I went, oh my gosh, look at this. It's fantastic. How would anybody know? I mean, we're just blown away. And by the way, you need to say, and by the way, a lot of these stores, you need to walk all the way to the back because they just keep going and going and going. So, and by the way, when you market, you need to say, by the way, if you walk all the way back here, there's really a cool thing. Here we have these koi. We used to raise koi. These koi are monsters. They probably have names. If they do, you need to say, you need to go back there and meet so-and-so and so-and-so and so. Mo, Curly, and Bo, whatever. I mean, it's just a cool thing. And then you got to promote Bubba's. We weren't too sure about Bubba's, but you know what? It was really good. I mean, the pulled chicken, really good. And so really a neat little place. Loved it. And then Torchlight. You got to promote Torchlight. Now, when we went there, we did meet Sebastian. He wears a parka all year round. But it was really interesting because we sat down and we said, there's this petting zoo back there, but it doesn't really look like a pet. I can't really figure it out. And of course, we're kind of confused about this whole thing, because there's a camel back there and everything, and there's old donkeys back there. But this lady, and I said, does that have any relation? And we were talking to Rita, the owner. And she goes, well, that's just temporary. We had a restaurant here, it burned down a couple years ago. And she goes, I was caught in a dilemma of whether I should rebuild the restaurant, what I should do. And then I had a house next door. And she goes, I did the dumb thing. I sold my house. They're going to build a medical clinic or something there. She goes, I sold my house. And then I went, now what am I going to do? Where am I going to live? And she goes, but that's my petting zoo. And really, it's just temporary. I am going to make it really cool. And so she was really neat. She was really cool. And by the way, they're not even listed on TripAdvisor. Not even listed. And we talked to our server has worked there for more than 30 years. And she says, well, the reason that Rita and even I don't want TripAdvisor, because when we're on those kinds of things, all they do is say bad stuff about you. I said, no, they don't. I mean, somebody might, sometimes you can respond, but the only thing you can find on TripAdvisor from them is this place burned down and is closed. People are still posting reviews, but people assume they must be talking about someplace else because it burned down and closed. TripAdvisor, by the way, if you email them, and I can give any of you, if you, by the way, if you bought a hotel and totally redid it, or if a restaurant burned down, you rebuilt it, they will erase all the old stuff. Free. And it's free to be on TripAdvisor. Somebody needs to go get her on TripAdvisor because, I mean, she was busy anyway. And by the way, that place is run like the clockwork of that place, watching them do the tables and serving is amazing. It's just like, wow. And it was really good food. And then, of course, on your best of list, you got to include Luigi's. Great place. Luigi's, Classics, and Torchlight were our 3 best restaurants we ate at. The other ones were great, but they're mainly bar food, and so we thought they were great. I think it's important that you include your casinos on there. I mean, you have bus loads of people coming out to them. I think it's important, even though they're not totally unique to you. Number one, weather doesn't matter when you're in there. Of the golf courses, according to Golf Advisor, Golden Sands was your best one, and so we said promote that one. And then you got to promote Twigs. And by the way, I have no idea what the university thing is about. So I'm kind of trying to figure, I still don't know what the university thing is. There must be a story there somewhere. But it's just a really cool little place, and you can sit there all day long and have samples, and it's really cool to see that you can actually see the bottling line. I thought that was really cool. So out of all of this, here's some scenic drives. And the wow space is while you're with the walls of Wittenberg. I think that, oops, wrong one. I think that promoting recreation sports, I think is important. And I do believe that country living, I call these country living lifestyle shops. I mean, these are the very best of what we saw, and we may have missed a few. Because we didn't get a chance to go in eateries. So we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somebody said Brothers is really good. There's probably a couple other ones. But I just wanted to let you know that when you do a brochure like this, people are going to come here and they're going to say, wow, we should go down to Wittenberg. We should go over to Gresham. We should go over wherever. I think it's the #1 thing you could do. And almost all of these are places where people can spend money. And then what you need to do is say, while you're here, you need to stop in. If you're doing the Amish tour, stop into the Lark store, stop into the bakery. I don't know where the new one's going to be. The other thing you could do, next one. So there's your best of. Next one is Hidden Gems. One of the coolest books I have ever seen was in Door County. I think you should do the Hidden Gems of Wisconsin's Shawano Country. Anybody ever seen this book? This little book was done by Richard Rusnak, a contractor. He used to live there, and he said, boy, nobody ever tells them the little hidden gems. And so I wouldn't do 101 Things to Do. Although they did one, they've copied it. Here it is, Shipshewana, Indiana, which is Amish country. Nowadays, you can do these in full color. But what's really cool is, like he did this. Our favorite Sunday morning starts with breakfast at the White Gull Inn on Main Street in Fish Creek. Splurge on a slice of their famous Door County Berry sour cream coffee cake, sold. Then take a much-needed stroll down Cottage Row. From the White Gull Inn, follow Main Street to Cottage Row and turn right. The walk will take you north along a row of shoreline cottages about a mile before it turns up the steep bluff. At the base of the bluff is a sliver of a park known as Champagne Rock. Named for the little rock that hangs out over the water. Down back's a perfect way to start the day. How many of those do you have in Shawano County? Tons. By the way, It costs him about $4 to print this book. He sells them to retailers for $10, and they sell it for $15. Wisconsin State Parks did a survey when they were selling these at state parks in Door County, where they said, we would like to do a follow-up. Would you mind if we followed up with you in 6 months, 1 year, and 18 months, just to see if you ever used this book and how many you did? You know what they found? Of all the things they've done in Door County, which they do quite well, this is their best marketing piece. When Jane and I assessed Door County, we got this little book. We bought it for $15. I have now bought hundreds of them because I give them away everywhere. But the thing is, what they found out is that 88% of the people that buy this book come back. We keep going, we got to go back there. We only got time to do like 10 of them. They're not the primary reason we come, but while we're there, we should check out a couple of these. Coolest thing ever. And now you could print it in color for the same price. So that would be, and in this book, here's where you put little things like the Navarino Wildlife Area, the Nature Center. You know, it's more of a hidden gem than something I would drive 2.5 hours for. You know, and then, you know, it's got a great job with all the maps you can hike and everything. I thought it's a great hidden gem. I think that here at Tigerton area, the historical park, it's hardly ever open. And so it can't be in the best of, because we don't want to go out there and say, well, that was great. We went to one of these best ofs, it's closed. But it would be a great little hidden gem there. It's got some great little things. We'd love to see some interpretive sign there. But the challenges with lots of these, let's see, it's open every 4th Sunday from May through September. I mean, so that's May, June, July, August, September. That's 5 days of the year for 3 hours. And so, and then it says, oh, and then Monday, May 29th will be open from 1 to 4. I mean, so this is why it has to be a hidden gem. I think the pasty shop, you know, the food, it wasn't rated. We didn't eat there, but I think it's a cool little hidden gem. If nothing, just to see the little rocks on the teeter-totter or on the tricycle. I thought that was pretty fun. A little fun, funky stuff. I think that the train depot at Eland would be out here. The railroad park, trail system, crossroads would be great. It's a neat little site. But once again, it's like, okay, it's open August 12th. That's it. So it's open from noon to 5, so it's open 5 hours a year. I mean, you know, so you can't really put it as a main attraction. And so, you know, but it's really, this place, is this private? Is it open to the public? Does anybody know? You know where I'm talking about? Where is this? This is on the road. Is it out by Bowler? I don't know, it's got this right here. It's got all these little Emmett's Blacksmith Shop, and it's got this. And I just go, it's really cool, but I don't know whether it's open to the public. So I thought, well, if it is, maybe it's a cool little hidden gem. And then the Bowler Area Museum, once again, we don't know whether this is historical offices because it doesn't say the word museum on it. But it might be a great hidden gem. And the same with the Library Museum here. Where was this at? Is that where? Okay. Yeah, it's up in the Indian Nation. So, and by the way, it was open there, but it's kind of limited. I think there's some cool things like this. It'd be cool if there's an interpretive sign. By the way, your Native Americans here do so little to bring us into their history and their background. And I have Native American blood in me, but here I tried to find out about the Mohicans, the Menominees. I almost said Menominee because I was going to joke about that. But the Menominees, I mean, you just don't really find much information. They just don't, you know, there's just things that are collected. Be a great hidden gem. Lower Red Lake, what a beautiful spot. I just went, oh my gosh, if I was ever going to go kayaking, I'd probably pick here. I mean, it just looks stunning. And so that would be a great hidden gem. I think little shops like this, Pa's Ice Cream Shop, I think this was in Gresham, right? Looked really great. I don't know if it's a best of or whatever, but I thought, oh, it's a great little hidden gem while you're there. I think it's just really cute. Did a cool job. Old Mill Park is really beautiful. I love it. We thank all the people who have made this park possible, but we don't trust you. We're going to chain this down with Yeah, somebody might steal our bench and by gosh, we want to use heavy duty chain. But you know what? The dam there and everything is pretty phenomenal. Neat little place. These are hidden gems. Menominee, we did go out to the Cultural Museum and out there, and it says Monday, Friday, 8 to 4:30, and it's on every sign. We went there at 9:20, and all the lights are off, and the gal says, well, there's nobody here yet. I go, well, do you expect somebody? Well, maybe in about 15 or 20 minutes. So apparently the hours don't mean anything. And so we did, you know, and the reason I put this as a hidden gem is it had some artifacts. It wasn't, there was no interpretive signs. There's nothing that really told you about the Menominee people at all. You know, there was just some art and stuff. I mean, there's no, you know, I don't know, these were probably used in some kind of grist mill or something. I mean, there's just no information. They said, well, if you come back, we have a guy that'll do tours with you. Well, we're here now, just, you know, I mean, you know, you've got signs leaning up against buildings. You know, we just said, well, it's a cute hidden gem, but maybe it's a work in progress. And so, you know, great hidden gem. Kashina Falls, I thought was a beautiful spot. However, the main part of the falls you cannot see. It's all overgrown. So I thought, man, if they could clear this out, do a viewing deck, because this is the main part of the falls. The only falls you can see is if you drive around to the other side, but the real falls are over there. And so it'd be nice if they made that more, but still, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. We went to Sullivan Falls. How many people have done that? You ever done that out there? And you drive down this little tiny road, and I go, okay, if there's a car coming the other way, we're gonna have to back up about 3/4 of a mile. But we drove out there, and it says something about snack bar and everything. Has this been open even in years? I don't know if it's ever open, but it said there's snack bar and food there. We don't know, but you know, I don't know if it's anything. That's why I put it as a hidden gem. Other ones, I mean, these are all Gresham has the little, and by the way, Depot Museum, great. Sold the experience. Little things like the barn quilt art in Gresham's, I called it their town square, village square. They put all the barn quilt arts everywhere, and I think it's really cool. So it's more of a hidden gem. I don't know that I'd drive out there, just Gresham, just to look at those and then leave. But I thought it was really cool. Now, hidden gems and the best of. If you do those two things, you will have so many people coming here and they will be spending way more money than they're spending now. Because here's the other thing. If we're on the lake, are we spending a lot of money? Maybe for gas, maybe when we provision up. But then, you know what? If we're on your trails, are we spending a lot of money? You got to get people in your shops.